My name is Valkyrie Romero. Today I'll be presenting my audiovisual assignment. Today I'll be talking about three concepts that include the queer theory, the self, and the developmental theory. The first topic that I'll be talking about is the queer theory. Various child and youth care systems get a large number of LGBTQ plus young people. Queerness is infused with cares in these systems. It can be seen in careful ways that sex, identity, desire, and love have been navigated throughout life history in many communities, countries, and families. In caring ways, many queer people, such as male, female, trans, and others, have come together to look after one another in caring ways that the queer community has formed throughout history. We talked about multiple ways that queer has been taken up, such as desire, identity, sexuality, theory, and politics. I read a journal titled Queering and Child and Youth Care by Wolfgang Viken. This research utilizes queer analytics to child and youth care by analyzing how desire, identity, sexuality, theory, and politics may be taken up with the child and youth care systems in order to draw on queer theory, formative, and contemporary discourses of child and youth care, and feminists and ethics of care thinking. My next topic is the self. The self has been a combination of factors that compromise a person's uniqueness and identity. The self is a difficult concept to explain for everyone, knows it, and experiences it. In the child and care youth systems, the self is a fundamental instrument of intervention. Self-awareness teaches us a sense of awareness of the self's states, strengths, and weaknesses, and how the self is perceived by others. Self-awareness is essential for child and youth care workers in order to maintain those healthy boundaries. The self helps us to know and interpret situations, and most importantly, how to reflect in action. A reading from this week's lecture that I read was titled Who Am I by Tom Gareft and Grant Charles. In this reading, it highlights what is the self and what do we mean by the word the self. In this reading, the author talks about how a child and youth care worker belongs to a profession that believes in a mutuality of relationships. They have the chance to use ourselves in the service as well as our own benefit in order to succeed. My final theory is the developmental theory. This theory refers to a set of interrelated concepts that have explained behavior or phenomenon. It is an explanation of nature processes or stages in change in human growth and behavior. So with child and youth care, there have been influenced by 5 major Western developmental theories. Those include psychoanalytic, behavioral, social, cognitive, ethological, and ecological. I've read an article that is titled Why Should We Care? Reflecting in Child and Youth Care Practice for, about, and with Autistic People by Nancy Marshall. This article, it talks about the needs and characteristics of child and youth care workers and how meaningful they are in a way to interpret the autistic needs. This article talks about when child and youth care practitioners allow vulnerability within themselves. Compassionate and respectful autism-informed care will form the progressive path to future child and youth care practice. Thank you for listening to my audio-visual assignment.